Hi everyone, good evening. Welcome back to our program for all things knowledge and horror. Before we get into the story, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. Also, turn on the notification bell so you're always the first to know when a new video drops. You won't want to miss what's coming up next.
Tonight, I will be presenting a story titled Contact from Beyond. One day, the poet and writer Mong Lu Thit arrived at my house. Every time he visits, he brings along various news from the literary world. Then, the two of us would usually engage in casual conversation about anything and everything. "What are you writing, Saya?" he asked, looking at my ongoing manuscripts. I replied that I was writing stories in the supernatural, mystical genre. He mentioned that he was quite busy as well, writing poems whenever appropriate and constantly contributing political articles. He added that he had a story he wanted to write and felt he could definitely do it. Oh, call Luthit. If the story is good, of course I'd want to write it. Well, before I tell you the story, I'll give it to you. Do you believe that people are deeply attached to their wealth and property? Of course I believe it. People have basic needs for food, clothing, and shelter. Even those who are well off want to be even richer. Driven by greed, anger, and delusion, they spend their lives searching for it. How could they not be attached? True. Some are attached to it until the very moment they die. That's right. People become Uchiesong treasure guardians because they are attached to their buried gold, silver, and jewelry at the time of death. Writers then embellish these stories with treasure lords and such, making people believe they live in royal luxury. In reality, they are Martika Pita spirits who suffer and enjoy alternately. Great monks teach that dying with greed leads to becoming a Pita-hungry ghost. Be that as it may, if you accept the existence of treasure guardians, do you also accept the possession by beings from the other world? It's impossible not to accept it. Western scholars call people who can be possessed by spirits mediums. Myanmar people simply call them Natwin. In truth, real Nats deities do not enter human bodies because they cannot stand the human scent. Most are just Pita or Asimthe raw ghosts. When such low-level beings enter, people say they are possessed or attached. If higher beings visa enter, they use terms like Datsi or Namkane to invite higher spiritual elements. One needs to have good moral conduct. Either way, they are all mediums. I don't think you can trust all of them. Among those mediums, many are not genuine but are just frauds making a living. In Western countries, however, they carefully scrutinize and accept their abilities. They use reputable mediums to research life after death. For instance, spirits of soldiers who died in World War II would enter them. Their words were recorded when they cross-checked their hometowns, families, assigned units, and the battlefields where they fell against historical records. Everything was correct. Nowadays, one cannot deny spirit possession, and science has come to accept life after death. In Buddhism and Hinduism, this has existed all along. Other religions didn't accept it, which is why they conducted research. Anyway, Kal Luthit, I now firmly accept the 2 points you made. The attachment to wealth and the possession by beings from the other world. Since you've accepted it, Saya, I shall tell you the story. Mong Mayat Tar was born in Pathin, Ayarwadi division. His mother was Kinkin Mayat, the daughter of a wealthy landowner, coming from a lineage of wealth. Mong Mayat Tar's early life was comfortable in every way. Although his mother was a woman of that era, she did not remain a dependent but focused intensely on business. She paid special attention to paddy trading, bean trading, and money lending. It could be said that Mom Mayat Tar inherited the habit of concentrating deeply on whatever task he undertook from his mother. While some people believe traditional medicines are slow to heal, there were, in fact, very potent medicines. It is a pity that such knowledge has faded away. During World War II in the Japanese era, Yu Ongtar could even treat those hit by shrapnel or artillery. For ordinary patients, he could tell the history of the illness just by looking at the patient's appearance without even feeling their pulse. His method of prescribing medicine was based on 33 basic medicines, categorized from Ki to R. Much like today's traditional medicine types 1, 2, and 3, he would mix them in necessary proportions to create a specific formula. Once a dose was taken, there was no need to return. If a recovery took 5 days, he gave 5 days worth. If 7 days worth. No one ever had to return for lingering fever. Because patients did not need to visit frequently, the doctor's income was modest. Furthermore, the old masters were people of high virtue and concentration, never prioritizing money. Nevertheless, he lived as a highly respected practitioner. Young Mong Mayat Tar was familiar with medicine from a young age. He accompanied his father when he traveled between villages to treat patients and when he went to Yangon to buy medicinal herbs. In Yangon, he became acquainted with a regular herb merchant, a babu. The word babu in Myanmar is best translated as gentleman. He was a man of wealth and good moral character. Moin Mayat Tar was a quick-witted child and would greet him by joining his palms in the Hindu tradition. Namaste, Babu. Namaste. The Babu would greet him back. His name was Das Brua, descended from a noble lineage. He was the top merchant in the medicinal herb business. Though he had many customers who bought in large quantities, he held special respect for Yuang Tar. He also became very fond of Mong Mayat Tar. As Mong Mayat Tar grew into his teenage years, changes began to occur. When the British returned after the Japanese fled, healthcare systems were reformed. Hospitals and clinics were opened. Because there were not enough doctors in Myanmar, they had to be hired from India. Most were LMP licensed medical practitioners. Today, they would only be at the level of an assistant health supervisor. Regardless, when they arrived, the role of Myanmar Binda healers faded. Laws also dictated that injuries related to criminal acts were only legal if treated at a hospital. Thus, traditional healers struggled to make a living, and their knowledge began to disappear. Yuang Tar, who was never one to exploit others for profit, found himself in difficulty. At this point, Mong Mayat Tar began to think even a famous healer like his father faced hardships, yet the Babu remained wealthy. He realized that being a scholar doesn't make one rich. Only doing business brings wealth. After independence, healthcare services improved further, medical colleges were opened, and MBBS doctors were produced. There was no longer a need to hire foreign doctors. Those hired under contract returned home when their terms ended. During the period of national reconstruction, the traditional medicine sector faded further. In this situation, the family did not lack food or clothing because his mother's business was doing well. It even improved. From the profits of the small businesses usually handled by women, his mother managed to establish a rice mill. Her relatives also came to help with the rice mill business. Consequently, her mill became famous for producing high-quality, low-grade refined rice. However, it seemed the Western proverb "misfortune never comes alone" was true, due to the internal conflicts caused by factions, ideologies, and ethnic divisions after Myanmar's independence. Dakin Kin Mayat's rice mill was burned to ashes by insurgents. Shortly after that incident, Yuang Tar passed away from old age ailments. Mong Mayat Tar now had to work to support his widowed mother, who had lost her livelihood since his mother's business was gone, and his father's profession was no longer viable. He considered working for the Babu. He opened up and consulted his mother. "My son, your mother still has some internal jewelry, possessions left. There is no need to feel discouraged." "No, mother. If we just sell and eat what we have, it will be gone one day. Don't let your precious ancestral heritage be lost. I will go work for the Babu." Can a son of a rice mill owner be comfortable working as a wage earner? That depends on the worldly conditions, mother, but I don't intend to be a wage earner my whole life. Once I understand the medicinal herb business, I will start my own. I want to go to Yangon and seek a path to prosperity." Dakin Mayat's eyes sparkled. She was deeply satisfied with her son's spirit of gratitude, honesty, and ambition. "If that's the case, I won't stop you. I'll only encourage you. Go if you must. I have sisters and many relatives here. You don't need to worry about me. I'm so happy, mother." Mon Mayat Tar's eyes brightened. His mother was gentle but firm. Her words were sweet, yet her spirit was strong. "But I want to give you some specific instructions, son. Please tell me, mother." "First, a person who wants to be successful must never be heedless. You must observe and investigate everything. You must work harder than others. Second, you must be able to step on, utilize the weaknesses or needs of others." Mong Mayat Tar was confused. "I understand the first point well, mother, but I don't understand the second point about stepping on weaknesses. What weaknesses do wealthy people have? They can do whatever they want with money, and they can approach the authorities too." "True, my son. Because a rich man has money, everything is smooth. If he says he'll only hire graduates will come. If he says he'll only hire a girl as beautiful as a movie star, beautiful girls will apply. To hire someone like you, he probably has more than 10 in his own family. It's not as easy as you say, mother. Where is the weakness? I'm telling you this so you know your own position. I'll tell you the weaknesses of the rich." Mong Mayat Tar listened with wide eyes to his mother's interesting words. Since they were vital for his life, he noted every single one. "Think about it, son. If there is a rich man in this town, the pagoda trustee wants a donation. The community hall elder will ask for help with furniture. The authorities will look at his wealth with envy. His relatives will want to borrow money because they rely on him. His employees will act like they are looking out for his interests, telling him who is doing what or who said what about him, but they are just trying to get in his good books and asking for favors. So what happens then, mother? What happens? Since everyone wants something from him, he can no longer trust anyone. What he lacks is a person who can be trusted." "Oh, so that's why rich people nurture trusted men." "Trust isn't just about honesty. There are 3 points to gaining trust." Dakin Mayat looked at Mong Mayat Tar and paused briefly. Then she continued her advice. "The first is your character. Whether at his company or his house, you must live in a way that he believes even a needle wouldn't go missing because of you. If there are workers who steal, you must be careful not to get involved. Some rich people will test your honesty in subtle ways. You can trust me on that, mother. I won't let my character be stained." "That's not all, son. There's a second point. If the rich man has sons or daughters, they worry about entanglements with workers. The Babu is kind and has loved you since you were young, but he is of a different religion and race. I wouldn't be happy if you became the son-in-law of a rich man one day. I would only consider that I had lost a son, okay?" The mother's words and expression were profound. Thus, Mon Mayat Tar could not remain silent and gave a firm promise that such a thing would not happen. "The last point is your work. Since you are just starting to learn, you won't understand the whole business yet, but you must study until you are proficient in at least one task. You must make the boss believe that if a responsibility is given to you, there will be no problems or difficulties." "I understand, mother. I will try to be a trustworthy person." Consequently, Mong Mayat Tar arrived at the Babu's place in Yangon. The Babu welcomed him joyfully. Dakin Mayat had also written a letter to the Babu. In the letter, she requested that Mong Mayat Tar be given a job with a suitable salary to learn the business, and explicitly stated that he should not be given special privileges just because he was her son. Like a true son of his mother, Non Mayat Tar worked very hard. He studied to understand the entire operation. The Babu understood that as a newcomer, Mon Mayat Tar wouldn't know the business yet. Therefore, he assigned him the task of welcoming and assisting herb merchants from various regions. These merchants were of various ethnicities from all over Myanmar. When they arrived, he had to welcome them with a pleasant smile and kind words. Sometimes he had to buy them betel, tobacco, or tea. He also had to take them to the places they wanted to go or the pagodas they wanted to worship at when he first started this work. Other workers labeled him as the servant of the merchants. For Mon Mayat Tar, however, it was an opportunity. He not only learned the Babu's business, connections across Myanmar, but also had the chance to study which regions produced which products. Furthermore, he gained local knowledge through these merchants. As they interacted frequently, the merchants began to entrust their belongings to Mong Mayat Tar when they went out. He took great care to ensure nothing was lost. They gave him tips known as bakshish. The ambitious Mon Mayat Tar did not take pleasure in receiving tips. His main focus was knowing the business. During the rainy season, fewer merchants visited. At those times, they worked more on packaging and maintaining the herbs. Mon Mayat Tar, who came from a comfortable background, was not an arrogant person. He worked diligently even at the most basic tasks. Despite his closeness to the boss, he never backstabbed anyone. He helped his colleagues as much as he could. In his mind, no matter how tired he was, he never considered his work not worth the salary. He was only eager to understand the business. Soon, his colleagues came to respect and love him. The Babu Brua, who was always observing subtly, noticed this. He had no one like Mon Mayat Tara, hardworking and reliable young man, neither in his family nor among his other workers. As he grew older and his physical strength failed his intentions, he needed someone he could send as his representative. Therefore, he began to teach Mong Mayat Tar all the business matters himself. Thanks to his father's legacy as a healer, Mon Mayat Tar was familiar with medicinal herbs, and with his mother's blood, he had an eye for business. Thus, he became the most fast-learning student among the Babu's disciples. Eventually, the Babu appointed him as the manager of his business. Most people who are promoted by a boss and become managers tend to become arrogant and lose touch with their roots. However, Mon Mayat Tar had no desire to oppress his fellow workers. The workers, seeing that Mong Mayat Tar worked harder than anyone else, did not slack off in his presence. When he became the Babu's trusted manager, he traveled across Myanmar to meet business connections. Initially, the Babu could accompany him, but later, Mong Mayat Tar had to go alone. At that time, he came to know the business even better. Some herbs are only available seasonally. Majit tubers, Cantant, and Shia body from Kachin State are very difficult to find. Ordinary merchants couldn't find them. Only those who could endure the rough jungle were paid and sent to search for them. Advance payments had to be issued for such items. At that time, every merchant welcomed Mong Mayat Tar, knowing that when he came, money followed. Even though he had become this important, Mong Mayat Tar was not satisfied. The desire to become a business owner himself dominated his mind. His mother also wrote letters repeatedly, warning him not to let success go to his head. Regardless, thanks to Mong Mayat Tar's efforts, the Brua family prospered. When the Revolutionary Council era arrived, many people of Indian descent returned to their homeland. Among those who boarded the ship Mohammadi to return to India were the Babu's family. Although Mon Mayat Tar was initially a hired manager, the Babu felt indebted to him because the business had stood strong. Through his efforts, before returning to India, he handed over the company to him. Mong Mayat Tar received the company office and the storage warehouse. That business was not among those nationalized. Therefore, Mon Mayat Tar remained a major herb merchant through successive eras. Mong Mayat Tar grew into Kyo Mayat Tar, and now he has become the great merchant Umayat Tar. He married the daughter of a prominent merchant from Maik and had 5 children. After marrying the woman from Maik, he became interested in the bird's nest business. He already had connections with Chinese merchants who paid well for high quality. Edible bird's nests are the saliva of swiftlets, found with great difficulty among the rocks of the Mayak archipelago. Merchant Yukio then would buy the products from the collectors with cash. Then he would find buyers and resell them. Later, Yumayat Tar became Yukio-than's most reliable buyer customer. Looking at the local situation, Yukio then did not have enough funds to buy all the output. Therefore, every bird's nest season, Yumayat Tar would issue advance payments to UTO. Then among all his advance payments across Myanmar, the amount for Yukia then's bird's nest business was the largest. It was the business Yumayat Tar focused on the most. Yukir then would only meet Yumayat Tar, who came to Mayak to issue the funds once a year. The bird's nests corresponding to the value received were sent to Yangon whenever appropriate. Kyo the New Year. Mayatara's character, someone who focused intensely on business. However, a very unusual event occurred that revealed even more about Yumayat Tar. Dayak and his group would recite beads on the platform of the Taimdagi pagoda after their day's work. Then they would discuss the Dhamma and talk about random things. His group included the pagoda trustee Yumong Enj, health officer Kao Mayant Oo, astrologer Xialin, timber merchant Yu Bawa, and others from various walks of life. One day, while the group of friends was chatting on the pagoda, a medium named Da too arrived. Yukia Den's group of bead reciters did not want to encourage those who worshipped spirits not. They had no respect for mediums, believing they only took up the profession due to the death of a husband or son, or because of debt. Da too sensed their dislike. She was someone who was extremely sharp at reading people. If she weren't that sharp, she wouldn't be able to survive in her business. I know you all don't want me here, but I came because a gentleman asked for help. Yumayanta asked, who is this gentleman? Ask him when he possesses my body and speaks. Everyone agreed. They watched the medium with research-oriented eyes. Dal too closed her eyes and invited the being from the other world. Soon, she began to shake and spoke with a man's voice. You are all doing well, aren't you? When Ayant O asked, who are you? I am Yumayat Tar from Yangon. Yukia then was startled. However, he didn't believe Da Tu yet. Yumayat Tar of Yangon was now a nationally famous merchant. Everyone would know his name. With the attitude of, let's see if you can lie, he threw out a question. If you are Yumayat Tar, tell me about the business matters you've done with me. Then from Da Tu's lips came the details of the money given to Yukia, then the discussed business plans, and other private matters between the two of them. When he asked questions about Yumayat Tar's history, she could answer them correctly. Den's eyes widened. He had to believe that the being possessing Da Tu's body was indeed Yumayat Tar. Look here, Yumayat Tar. You and I have worked together for a long time. Tell me what you want to happen. I will do my best to carry it out. Thank you, Yukio. Then I won't be able to come to Mayak again. Please just send the goods to my children. If you can't get the goods, just send the money back. You can deduct your service fees, my friend. You can count on it, sir. When Yukiura then gave his promise, the being called Yumayat Tar left Daltu's body. Yukiata felt it was extraordinary but couldn't quite wrap his head around it. The next day, however, he received a telegram from the post office. It was a notice from the daughter, Zinzin Mayat Tar, stating that Yumayat Tar had passed away one day before he met Da Tu.